Here you see 5 remote aircraft stands on my model airport. In today's video I am going to make them look much more realistic. I'm going to upgrade them with some very cool features, so be sure to take notes because you could add these features to your model airport as well. Now let's get started with the first feature, which are blast fences. These barriers are designed to protect infrastructure and personnel on the ramp from the jet blast and all of the debris that the jet blast might blow away. I am going to 3D print these blast fences, which means I first need to design them. I do that with the help of Autodesk Fusion 360. An online 3D designing software. I designed 2 triangles, one a bit larger, and then I copied and pasted them after another to make a long fence. In a sec I will explain why the triangles have different scales, but first we are going to 3D print them. With the help of Ultimaker Cura I can create a file on a SD card which my 3D printer understands and will print. For the blast fence the cost is 3 cents and the printing time is 10 minutes. I then started printing with my Ender 3 V2 3D printer. And after about 10 minutes the print was finished and here I had my first blast fence. Though it still misses its red-white coloring. So for that next step I'm going to use a Uniposca PC3M red marker and I'm going to paint all of the triangles. The reason that I designed 2 differently scaled triangles was to make the coloring easier. If I shoot out with the marker I will not color the other triangle, which should remain white. So there we go, that is the first blast fence finished. I then moved to my airport to place the blast fence down. I'm not going to use any glue or something, I just put it down as it already looks nice in my opinion. I put this blast fence in between a parking spot for ground service equipment and an aircraft gate, so that all of the trucks behind the fence won't be damaged due to the jet blast. I was happy with the result, which meant I 3D printed a few more blast fences, one of which I will place down at the remote aircraft stands where we will move onto right now. As the next element that I will be adding are airport tiles. These are seen at every concrete surface on the airport and these squared tiles are really easy to make on your model airport. I have already created these tiles at another terminal of mine and as you can see the difference between with and without tiles is pretty huge. The first step is to get rid of all the aircraft and ground service equipment and make space so we can create the tiles. The only tools you'll need for this is a pencil and a ruler and protractor. And then I simply started drawing the lines. These squares are 2 by 2 centimeters each. And 2 by 2 centimeters on the model airport is 8 by 8 meters in real life due to the 1 to 400 scale. As you can make the calculation that each centimeter on the airport is 400 centimeters in real life. Now after about 1 hour of drawing a lot of lines, I finally finished creating all of the concrete tiles, ending up with this result. I think this is one of the easiest details anyone could add to their model airport. Moving on to the next item, which are taxiway outlines, seen around all of the yellow taxiway lines. I create them using another Uniposca paint pen, in this case the PC1MR black paint pen, and using a straight piece of wood I simply follow the taxiway lines and color around them. At least it sounds that easy, though I made it very hard for myself and I kept making mistakes. And I tried to erase them using a wet wipe, which in the end worked, but I also removed some of the concrete tiles, which I then had to redo. Though in the end I was happy with the results of the taxiway outlines, meaning we can move on to rubber tire marks as they are seen at every airport. These wear and tear marks I will create using an airbrush with some black paint. I first assembled the airbrush, after which I mixed all of the paint. I then put paint inside of the airbrush and I mixed the paint with a bit of water. So in the end I had about a 50-50 mix with water and paint. This is about the 3rd time in my life I am using an airbrush. So I thought First, I will test it out on paper to see how it goes, and it went pretty good, so I started putting the wear and tear marks on my airport. I want the wear and tear marks to be very light and minimal, meaning I had to really take it easy on the airbrush, though here I made a mistake and I went way too hard, and I tried to correcting it using wet wipes, but it only got worse from there. For that reason, the gate on the bottom right, which has way too many airbrush marks, need to be completely redone. I need to repaint it and recreate all of the markings from scratch. Though I am happy with the airbrush marks that I created at all of the other gates, as there are lovely wear and tear marks now. I then moved to the taxiway lines, and I also added some markings around those. The lesson I have learned here is that you need to start off very light and be very patient with increasing the amount of paint that you are spraying. And in the end, I think the result is very nice. Next, I added a blast fence, which I 3D printed to size, and then I could add all of the aircraft models, cones and ground service equipment once again. The whole process of upgrading these remote stands cost me about a whole evening. From 3D printing the blast fences, creating the concrete tiles, adding the taxiway outlines, and finally adding the airbrush marks. I think the result is 100% worth it, and I am very happy with it. With the monorail also in place, we can enjoy some of the pictures of the upgraded remote stand. I hope you took notes and got inspiration and ideas for your own airport of things that you can still add to it. Also, if you have ideas of items and details that I can still add to my airport to make it more realistic, be sure to comment them down below, and who knows, I might add them later on in a video. Now I'd like to thank you for watching to this video. Please consider to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then I will see you in the next video.